looking at the pregnancy test like, oh my god.
Doctor, will this happen? Doctor, what if this happens?
But I don't know what to do. How many babies I want to have? Oh my god. Fuming inside. I really like this question. Please. Everybody came attacking me in the comments. Hello and welcome. Hi, I'm Satshya. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. This video has been so highly requested, and I want to thank all of you for sending in your questions via Instagram and YouTube. There are so many questions that have come in. This is going to be a long chatty video, so grab your coffee and snacks, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to it. Hello! Motherhood. Motherhood has been a really beautiful season, but in full transparency, it has also been kind of insane.
There are all of these new fears, new anxieties, issues that you thought you were past that now come bubbling to the surface.
And thankfully, I started therapy again, and it feels like such a huge burden has been lifted off my shoulders to be able to talk to a professional about these things, because when I'm talking about through these things and I'm able to put words to my emotions, I'm able to kind of solidify what I'm exactly concerned about or anxious about. My therapist also gives me tools to be able to deal with situations on the go. Now I know when to step back and look at something and be able to assess if it's a rational fear or an irrational fear, and also how to calm myself down in situations where I know it's an irrational fear. Can't believe I used to put it off for such a long time. One, because I couldn't leave my baby alone at home, and two, because I didn't want to leave her at home. Like, I was anxious about leaving her home and going somewhere, and if you're in the same boat as me, then virtual therapy might be the answer. BetterHelp is the paid partner of this video, and they are on a mission to make starting therapy easier. I know a lot of you are watching this from all over the world, so whether you're in India, US, UK, UAE, anywhere, this will work out for you. Fill out a questionnaire and you'll be matched with a therapist as soon as possible. What I really like about BetterHelp is that they match a therapist according to your needs, so you don't have to waste time, searching for someone who's the perfect fit for you. But you can also switch between therapists anytime at no extra cost if it's not the right fit for you. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. Click on the link in description or go to betterhelp.com/Satshya to get 10% off your first month of therapy. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for partnering with me on this video, and all of you watching, I really hope it helps, because therapy has made a 180-degree change difference in my life. On that note, let's get to the questions. So I have a ton of questions and I've divided them into 10 categories. Let's start off right at the beginning, which is family planning. The first question is, when did you know that you were ready to become a mom? Wasn't it overwhelming? When someone asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Career-wise, I never had a clear goal. But if I would just close my eyes and imagine, I would always picture kids and a dog and a partner. Family always came number one in terms of happiness and priority. Though I was a huge workaholic, I loved my work, and I would a lot of times, I think, prioritize my work over my family. But when I thought of it long term, like what brought me happiness, what I would see myself as in the future, it was always with the family. So I always knew this idea of wanting to be a mother. And because I grew up in a large family, I have 4 older siblings, I have lots of cousins, and so I spent time around kids, I spent time around babies. I kind of knew what to expect, but now I realize I had no idea. Like, when your partner's also on the same page, when they also want to have kids and they're excited about it, you know that no matter how scary it is, you can get through it. I was actually excited and be like, oh, what's life gonna be like? How's this kid gonna turn out? What was your reaction when you got to know you're pregnant? I was stunned. I was just looking at the pregnancy test like, oh my god, it's real. Like, it's actually happened. That Michael Scott meme of, oh my god, it's happening, and I'm running outside. Like, that's how my brain was. But my body was like, oh my god, like, I was so happy and so excited. I actually have a video of it, of me and my husband's reaction, but that's something we've saved to show our daughter when she's older, because I think that'll be a really special experience and moment for her and her alone to experience. Anything to keep in mind pre-conception? Yes, you have to be in very good health. And also, this is something my gynecologist told me when I went to have a checkup. She said, if you're planning to get pregnant, get all your dental work done in advance, because once you get pregnant, you can't get dental work throughout your pregnancy, and obviously after you have the child, it's very difficult to take time off to get dental stuff done. Keep that in mind. Also, make sure that you're in good health, you're fit, you have a healthy lifestyle. If you smoke and drink, please stop. and make your partner also stop, because obviously sperm health is also very important to the health of this baby. Interaction of baby and pet. Thinking of adopting a dog, and my kids are 7 and 1.5. Good question, and I'm so glad that you're actively thinking about it. I would say wait until your baby is like 3 years old, because adopting a dog is like adopting a baby.
You have to take care of its poop, its pee, you have to train it, they go through a biting phase, teething phase, and all of this is not safe around a baby who is very active.
And obviously babies are very young and they're very curious. They want to pull the dog, and when a young puppy and a young baby are interacting, it's not going to be safe for either of them. This is all things that I have thought through, because we really want to adopt a second dog. So many adoption appeals that keep coming up every single day, and it breaks my heart, but I cannot adopt a dog at this life stage where I'm not able to give that dog 100% love and care that I would love to. Even our dog himself, like Tono, who's sitting right here next to me, the reason we got him when we did, and at that timeline, was because we wanted to have 1 year with him properly, where we could train him, giving that 100% attention and care, and make sure that he's really sorted and set before we bring another little human being into this world. You are bringing this dog into your life, right? The dog is not chosen to come to you, so you are taking on that responsibility. So it's up to you to make sure that this dog has the best life with you as possible. Now to the next category, pregnancy/delivery. I'm 8 months pregnant, 33 weeks, and I'm super scared. It is very natural to be afraid of the whole birthing process. I think one thing I don't know if this is good or bad, but I did not watch any birthing videos. I did not read any experiences of birth where it was very gory descriptions. Like, I was like, I'm going to go through this. The less I know, the better. I get very queasy around blood and descriptions of body fluids and all of that. I was like, I don't want to know. But I did want to know a few things of what could possibly happen, in the sense, like, I read that, sometimes it is possible you might poop yourself or you might fart, because you're putting so much pressure, right? So you trying to squat and push, sometimes you might poop, sometimes you might fart. That I'm okay with knowing, but the rest, if something is happening to me, I can always ask the nurse, like, hey, is this normal? Hey, is this okay? I didn't want to know beforehand and freak myself out. So that's just me, but if you're someone who likes to be fully prepared before something like this, then go ahead. But if you're someone like me, the less you know is better, I feel. Even delivery, like, I took epidural and it was the best experience ever. And I had no pain after a certain point of labor. Like, I had no pain and I was like, wow, this is amazing. There are options for you. So please speak to your gynecologist. If you're scared, whatever concerns you have, just talk to your gynecologist. I used to write down like my 5-6 questions during every gynac visit and be like,
doctor, will this happen? Doctor, what if this happens?
They are the best person to ask, because they know your body, they know your temperament, and they know medically what's right for you. How was the delivery? Were you scared? And the pain, the tearing? FTM here. FTM is first time mother, if you didn't know. So delivery was really good. I made a whole video explaining my delivery experience. I'll link it here if you want to watch just that. But overall it was very good. I had a vaginal delivery. I took an epidural. I had the best experience. The tearing, I believe everyone tears, but they stitch it up and it's like any other part of your body, like it'll heal and it'll be fine. And I think it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to heal. I thought it would be worse, but it's actually not that bad. And you just have to make sure that you follow the care instructions, aftercare instructions really well, so you don't end up with any infection. But it's not a very complicated process and pretty simple to do. So don't worry, you'll be completely fine, and you'll be okay. You'll have a great delivery experience. Did you use a Japa or baby maid for the first few months post-delivery? I delivered in Singapore, so there's a concept of a confinement nanny, who is someone who will be with you for the first 40 days after birth. It's similar to the Indian version of a Japa maid. I got an amazing nanny, Marika. Shout out, I love you. If it is possible for you to have someone to take care, like, at least in Singapore it was very expensive, okay, but now looking back, it was so worth it, because she was such a help. She taught us how to
bathe the baby, how to properly feed the baby, burp the baby, change diapers properly.
Because she's someone who's had so many years of experience. She had great technique, she had great experience with different kinds of babies. When I would be very worried and be like, oh Marika, this is happening, oh Marika, she's not sleeping, oh Marika, she's like, Ara, don't worry la, don't worry, it's okay, some baby like this, some baby like that, try this technique, try that technique. So that was so reassuring. Like, I'm so grateful for her. She was a bright light, and she was a very like a chatty, fun person. So she really brought so much brightness and light to all of our lives. And I highly recommend getting a Japa nurse after birth, because you need that help. Like, ek to you yourself, you're like one zombie, you're just recovering from surgery. Having that help is really, really beneficial. How was the first week of motherhood for you? It was a blur, honestly. Suddenly, one day you didn't have a child, like you were pregnant, but suddenly like the child is like right there, and you realize that everyone is expecting you to take care of the child. And you're like, but I don't know what to do, you know? Because yeah, how do you prepare for this? It's a surreal experience, and it's really, really, really helpful to have help around you, be it a Japa nurse or your family. The first week I remember was just trying to figure things out, like trying to figure out breastfeeding, trying to figure out changing diapers, changing clothes, holding the baby, because baby is so small and you have to support their head, so you're like, oh, I hope I don't drop the baby. Mostly it's like a blur because you haven't slept. After going through the whole birth delivery process, do you think you do it again? Yes. With an epidural. I got a couple of questions also about whether I'm planning to have another baby, how many babies I want to have. I'll just say this. I would like to have more than one child, but one thing I realized seeing my friends, my family members struggle with pregnancy is this is not something you can take for granted that, oh, it'll just happen. It's like a blessing if you have a child when you really, really want a child. So I'm hoping, I'm hopeful, and yeah. Maybe there'll be another reveal video soon with another child. Not soon, not pregnant right now.
Hello, there are some questions I missed out. Did you do pregnancy exercises for before delivery? Yes, I did pregnancy yoga from the 3rd month onwards. I also had a lot of nausea and puking. The pregnancy yoga did not help with that, but it did help me feel better physically. And I'll put the number and the name of the person who I worked with. Next question, how much did the pregnancy cost with and without insurance? So giving birth in Singapore cost about nearly $10,000 SGD, which is about 6 lakhs INR. It is very, very expensive giving birth in Singapore. I would say about 90% of it was covered by insurance, so we had very little to pay out of pocket, so that was a relief.
Now we come to mental health, and I got so many questions about this, and I realized that all of us go through this. There are so many of you out there who are going through this, who have gone through this, who are about to go through this, who probably are not even pregnant, but you're just wondering what this life change is going to be like. This section is for you. Your mental health suffer a lot because of the adjustment. How do you mentally adjust to a baby being fully dependent on you? What things help with that? I didn't have postpartum depression, which is, you know, a condition where a lot of women feel a chronic sense of hopelessness, helplessness. They get really anxious, some even feel suicidal. I did not feel all of those things. I knew that there was something called postpartum depression because thankfully now a lot more people are talking about it, and I knew to be aware if there were signs for it. Like, I did feel intense emotions, but rather it was towards my dog. I would be holding my baby and I could see my dog sitting there looking at me, and I would feel so sad.
I would feel like, oh my god, he's not going to be there with us after like 10-12 years. Like, he's such an angel boy, he's so gentle, he's so sweet. Or I would feel guilty that I've not spent enough time with him, or I'm not played with him, or I'm not able to take him out on a walk, which is usually how we bond. It's our time, right? We go on long, long walks together.
And I would just look at him and I would feel tears coming to my eyes, like intense emotion of love and all of these feelings towards him. And I knew that it was just like, logically, I knew it was my hormones acting up. They say the first month is the hardest, and one of my cousins told me this, and that was really helpful because when I was in that first month, I was like, oh my god, what is happening? And when she said this is the hardest, like this is the hardest it can get and it's going to get better from here, that made me feel so much better because I was like, okay, it's going to get better. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And I'll tell you why it's hard. It's hard mainly because you've not had sleep. That's the main thing. Like, lack of sleep can drive you insane. Secondly is everyone has different issues with their child. Like, some babies don't latch properly, they're not feeding, or your milk is not coming through, and that is so stressful because you're like, but as mothers we're supposed to breastfeed, right? We're supposed to know how to breastfeed. Why am I not able to? Like, is there something wrong with me? Am I a bad mother? You have all of these thoughts. Now I know that breastfeeding is all about like technique and stuff, because this is the first time I'm doing it. I don't know how to do it. It's not like some natural instinct coming through.
Someone had to guide me of, okay, hold your hand like this, support the other arm like this, take the baby like this, and that's what made it easier for me.
It could be a Japa nurse, it could be a lactation specialist, it could be a doctor, it could be your mum if that helps. But ask for help from someone. Don't feel like, no, I should figure this out on my own, I should be able to do this on my own. No, we all watch and learn from other people, right? So please take that help. And at what point does it feel like you're doing enough and you got this? I don't know if you ever get to that point in the nights when it felt the hardest, and I was like, oh my god, I don't think I can do this. This is so difficult. Once morning came and I could sleep, like the confinement nanny would take the baby and like comfort her and soothe her, and I would sleep from that 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Now, once I'd wake up full energy. I'd be like, I can do this. Where's my baby girl? Yeah, let's go give her a bath. Woo woo, let's play with her. Even looking back at this past 1.5 years, there have been so many times that I have felt so overwhelmed. And now when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, it was hard, but I could do it. And with motherhood, like there are so many moments like that which feel so hard in the moment. But once you pass through, you're like, good job, you did it. It was hard, but you got through it, and you can do anything. Like you have a sense of I am superwoman. You can literally, like, this kind of confidence motherhood gives you once you get through all the things that you get through, no, it will transform your life. Now you're a super confident person. You're like, this doesn't bother me. I've been through labor. I've been through sleepless nights. I've been through breastfeeding issues. You think this is going to bother me? No way. You're confident. How do you deal with losing your own identity versus being a mother? This is a great question. This is a question I've been asking myself. This is something I did not expect about being a mother, and I wish someone told me about it, and I'm here to tell you about it. Your life completely changes in this, especially that first month. Like, for example, if my routine earlier was
Wake up, walk my dog, then come back, have breakfast, watch something, then do this, do that.
all that goes out the window. Now your whole life revolves around your baby and your baby's schedule. So you might think, oh, I'm just going to have a shower now. But no, suddenly the baby's hungry, she's crying, so you need to drop that plan and you need to soothe her, feed her, try to put her to bed. And before you know it, like 2 hours have passed. And you're like, oh, maybe I can't have a shower right now. Maybe I should go have some food. But you're like, oh, I have to pump also. So then you're pumping and you're eating food. But you're like, oh, I can't watch that movie I wanted to watch because baby's sleeping. So what I mean is your daily routine gets completely disrupted. I remember in that first month, me just thinking, I wish I could just go for a coffee. That was one thing I just wanted to do. I was like, I just wish I could go to a cafe and just sit by myself and just work, maybe, or just like type something, or just drink a cup of coffee and eat a muffin. Something to feel like myself, because after giving birth, you're in this survival mom mode where you are there for your baby, you know, you're there 100%, but you're kind of not there for yourself. For me, how I coped with that was taking walks with my dog. I need to go outside, I need to smell fresh air, I need to do something that I used to do in my previous routine to make me feel like myself, and that was like a half-an-hour walk with my dog. Slow walk in the usual places we used to walk, and I also got time with him, and that felt so good. I used to feel rejuvenated, refreshed, happy. It's such a small thing, but doing just one thing from your past life, doing something from what you did before you gave birth really helps. So for someone else, it might be watching a favorite TV show or getting their hair done if possible. Just something that takes you out of the house. 3 other things that I did that I feel like really helped me feel like myself. I got my hair colored before I gave birth, and hair color has always been such a big part of my identity. After I gave birth, even when I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror, like I'd put on so much weight, my face looked so puffy, I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror, but I could see my hair, and I'm like, you're that girl. Something, okay, I don't know how to put it in words, but it was just something that reminded me like I am her. The second thing was wearing my oversized t-shirts, the same kind of t-shirts I used to wear before I gave birth. That also made me feel like myself. I'm like, I get I am a mother, but I'm still Satshya. Like I remember once I wore like a nightie because it was feeding friendly, it had a front zip. And I looked in the mirror and I just could not recognize myself. I'm like, who is this person? I look so different. Like I don't look like me. I don't feel like me. I don't look like me. This body doesn't feel like mine. And it's like a very weird feeling you go through in your brain. When I wore my oversized t-shirt with my Metallica on it, now I was like, okay, you look different, but you're still the same person. That, I don't know if that makes sense, but man, I'm feeling that emotion like talking about it. Motherhood is like a full-time job, except it's not 9 to 5, it's 24/7. You need a mental break from it sometimes, right? So take that time and allow someone to take that time to have time for themselves, to feel like themselves, to feel like a woman, to feel like a friend, to feel like a wife, to feel like a daughter. to feel like you're still in touch with all of these different aspects of your personality, give them that opportunity to do that. Establishing boundaries with parents, in-laws and relatives, holding newborn baby, etc. This is so important. I think particularly in my case, I am really blessed and lucky to have parents and in-laws who are very understanding. Even though there are parenting styles that we might disagree with on the opposite sides of the page on, they still are like, okay, you're the mother, you have the final decision on it. And that is so important. My therapist called it what? That you feel validated, that you feel seen and understood. And that is so true. As new moms, we don't know everything. We are still figuring things out. We are naturally very anxious about a lot of things. So there are relatives who might try to advise you or try to just zabardasti may do something thinking they're trying to help you, but to your anxious brain, you're like freaking out. Like if you're used to holding the baby like this, for example, and someone holds a baby like this, you're like, oh, don't hold the baby like that. So in situations where, for example, someone says, oh, give chocolate to the baby, nothing will happen, I just say, no, we're not giving her chocolate until the age of 2. And I just establish my boundary there. And then I say, but instead, what you could give her is give her like a banana or a fruit. So if the intention was to feed the child and be happy with the child, then at least you have redirected them to something more positive. Like you're not shutting down their offer of help. And I've also realized that a lot of people around you, they love you, they want to help you. It's just that their tone might come across as offensive to you or irritating to you. If there are some boundaries you have, like you don't want anyone to kiss the baby, you want them to wash their hands before touching the baby, you want them to wear a mask. Communicate all this before they meet the baby. So for example, if someone visits your house, then be like, oh, thank you so much for coming. If you don't mind, doctor has said, attribute everything to the doctor.
Doctor has said that whoever's visiting the baby needs to wash their hands, wear a mask, and to not kiss the baby until they cross 3 months of age.
State this right at the beginning so that it's not that when they're going to kiss the baby full of fear, you're like, no, don't kiss the baby. Or even worse, you watch it happen and you're like fuming inside. How can I kiss the baby? It's not safe. On your part, just state it clearly and with love. How to handle random neighbor aunties or grannies starting advice for while parenting a toddler. I should tell you about this. I hear this so much in my apartment complex. When you're out with your child, you get all sorts of unsolicited advice. Now it's very funny to me, okay? If someone's just telling me something, just listen like, and then forget about it. It's a problem for me if someone forces it. For example, if someone says,
I don't know why parents these age care so much about sugar. We need to give sugar and nothing happened to our baby, blah blah blah.
and I'm like, yeah, I know. Leave it. That's okay. That's their opinion. Let it be. But if you tell them, I'm not giving sugar to my kid right now, and they're like, oh, nothing will happen. Lele baby. That's where I draw the line. And I'm like, no. You cannot give that to the baby. That's when I step in and I'm firm. Otherwise, I have heard anything and everything in terms of advice from people.
Oh, for child's good health, you must put something inside a black cloth. You should do like this, so the child, and put it under the bed for a few days, and then after that you should burn it, and then the child will have good health.
I was like, okay. Why you want to waste time saying, no auntie, actually scientifically blah blah blah. Don't waste time, bro. I really like this question, okay? How has your relationship with your own mother influenced your parenting? This is such a great question. And I got a couple of questions along these lines also. I have a great relationship with my mother. I feel like if I had to describe her parenting style, it would be gentle but firm parenting. If she said no, she meant no. She would give me reasonings why she said no. It wouldn't just be like, it's because I said so. I may not have told her 100% of everything I was doing in my life, but when it came to the tough times, when it came to difficult moments, I always went to my mother and I've spoken to her about it, and she's always been my safe space. She's been my comfort, my rock, my everything. I had a great relationship with my mother. I wish that I'm able to be that same kind of mother to my daughter. I feel like that's a very high bar my mother has set, so I'm constantly trying to be that kind of mother, that kind of understanding, patient, kind, loving and firm mother. This question I'm so glad to see. My sister is about to deliver twins in a month's time. How can I help and not be annoying? Such a great question and very thoughtful, because not a lot of people think about this. The best way you can be helpful is to show up and take care of the house. Be a family member and help by
Doing the dishes, cooking something, allowing her to go sleep for some time, or like booking a hair appointment for her, or something like that, where she can just relax, be herself, get some time for herself.
I think you can be annoying if you tell your sister what to do with a child, but otherwise I think just having family around is very reassuring and helpful, because it's a very scary / new confusing time. Now we come to a very touchy but important topic, which is sleep. When did you start sleep training and how was your journey with your baby's sleep? My journey with my baby sleep was very, very tough because my baby is a very light sleeper. So the first few months, she would only sleep in my arms, and the minute I would put her down on the bed or in the crib or even like on a lounger, she would immediately wake up and cry. Also, that meant at night I would have to sit straight up like this the entire night holding her because I could not put her down. The minute I tried to put her down or put her on the side, she would wake up. You know, once a baby wakes up, it is so hard to put them back to sleep. Plus, I was breastfeeding on demand. We were co-sleeping. This went on for 7-8 months and I was going insane. Imagine for 8 months, you have not had more than 2 hours sleep at a stretch. You're waking up multiple times in the night and you also have to continue work. You feel like a zombie. I started to feel like I'm going insane because I couldn't remember things. If someone's told me something, I'm listening, but it's like my brain is a sieve and words are just going and flying like that. Like, I couldn't comprehend anything, and I realized that, you know, long-term effects of a lack of sleep or disturbed sleep is really, really damaging on the brain. When you feel like you can't remember what someone told you yesterday or 5 minutes ago, it's very scary. For a long time, I was also resistant to the idea of sleep training or unsure about it because I thought, oh, it's very cruel, you know, how can you make your baby cry? And now when I read my DMs of people being like, hey, I have a 16-month-old, I have an 18-month-old, they're still waking up through the night. I'm like, brother, please do sleep training. It has changed my life, okay? And I know a lot of people will disagree with me on this, and I know a lot of people have different opinions, which is completely fine. Do what works for you. If you are someone whose child sleeps through the night and has been sleeping through the night from the beginning, and you're like, I don't believe in sleep training, I'm not going to take that opinion from you because probably you never needed that. You're like, see, sleep training is not necessary. Child is completely fine with it. Great, that's great for you, but it is not for me. For me, for my light sleeper who wakes up every 1 hour, crying, who needs like half an hour of soothing before she can go back to sleep again, that is not sustainable for me. So if you are someone like that, you're looking for some help, let me introduce you to sleep training. First, I read this book called Baby Sleep by Kerry Bajaj. I'll link it in the description. Very, very, very insightful in understanding why sleep is so important to our children. It's not just the fact that my sleep is getting disturbed, but it's also she's waking up every 1 hour. She's not getting a full cycle of sleep. They need restful sleep to be able to grow, to develop their brains. Like, it's so important for them. So at least consider that when you're thinking about whether you need to do sleep training. If your child is not sleeping properly, they need to. Secondly, also it challenges a lot of your views about children in the public space. Like, for example, you're like,
Oh, but if I sleep train my child to sleep at 8 p.m. every day, then I can't go for this wedding or I can't go for this event.
like the book says, then don't. For this 1 year, just concentrate on your child's sleep. Like, let everything else go, or you need to take them for that one time, take them, fine, but keep that consistent schedule of, okay, if they need to sleep at 8 p.m., they need to sleep at 8 p.m. Kids love schedule, they love a routine, and they need their sleep. Second thing I did was to enroll in these sleep training classes by Rini Gupta. I think her earlier Instagram handle was Yawn to Dawn Sleep Consulting. She's based out of Singapore. Her prices you will find a bit expensive because they are Singapore kind of prices, but she's really, really good. I took her group class and I did a one-on-one consultation when I wanted some follow-ups. First thing you have to do is establish a sleep routine. Our sleep routine, for example, is after she has a dinner, she plays for a bit, then her sleep routine starts from bath time. So she has a nice relaxing bath. After that, she goes into her pajamas. You give her a nice massage, head massage, body massage. Then you feed her. If you're bottle feeding, bottle feed. If you're breastfeeding, breastfeed. Don't let them fall asleep. Very, very, very important to not let them fall asleep while feeding. After they feed, say so 10 minutes if they usually feed, let them feed. Then after that, read a book. Read 2-3 books if needed, but very slow, gentle books. I'll again link the books that we used. Repeat the same books. Speak in a very slow tone, slow voice. Keep the room dim, curtains drawn, no distraction, nothing. Okay, it has to be as peaceful and boring as possible, and keep doing this and put them to bed. So in the beginning there might be a bit of resistance to this because there's a change in their routine, but they quickly get used to it.
Do this for a week or so until the child understands that, okay, once I start bath means, okay, this is the start of my sleeping process. So their body also gets used to winding down, relaxing.
Now comes the sleep training part. We did a method where we put her in the crib, we said good night and we left the room, and we kept checking in every 3 minutes, 5 minutes and then 10 minutes, these intervals. So the first night she cried for about 1 hour, and that was really, really, really hard. But because we had read so much, done so much research, spoken to the sleep consultant, one thing everybody says about sleep training is you have to be consistent. The second night she took 20 minutes to sleep. So she's crying for 20 minutes, sleeping, standing up, crying, going back to sleep. The third night she slept within 5 minutes. And the fourth night she slept within 2 minutes. Fifth night she slept within 30 seconds. And then that's when you feel like, why didn't I do this earlier?
Because she's going to bed so fast, she knows how to sleep by herself. If she wakes up in the middle of the night, she knows that, okay, I just have to like curl down this side, that side, and she's used to it. She's learned how to fall asleep by herself. She doesn't need the external help.
For middle of the night wakings, I would make sure that I'm feeding her only every 3 hours. If she, for example, if she woke up at 1, I would feed her. If she woke up at 2, I would let her fall asleep by herself. If she woke up at 4, which was the next feeding window, I would feed her. If she woke up at 5, I would let her go back to sleep herself. So that was how it went. I stopped night feeding after she turned 1 because then I knew that nutritionally she doesn't need that kind of extra supplementation of breast milk. And then I reached the golden period where she was sleeping through the night, and the transformation in me as a person, you should have, like Akash used to laugh and I used to wake up like that. I used to dance.
I used to take Tono for a walk in the morning. I used to feel so accomplished. It used to be like 9 a.m. and I'm like, I've accomplished so much. I have so much energy. Oh my god, I can't wait to do this.
The effect of having undisturbed sleep was 7 hours. Underrated. This also means that because she's sleeping through the night, Akash and I can go out on date nights. This means that I can do my 10k steps at night because I know she's gonna sleep through it. She's not gonna wake up in between. It has given me so much freedom and a new lease of life as a mother, and I am so grateful that there is something called sleep training. You don't have to do that thing where you leave them in the crib and let them cry all night. That's called extension method. You don't have to do that, something as extreme as that. You can do something even gentler than our leave and chick method, which is be in the room with the baby, hold the child's hand. Like, there are multiple methods. You can read up about it, see what works for you and your family. Just a couple of guidelines. You and your partner have to be on the same page before you start something like this, because it can be very distressing hearing your baby cry. 2, if you're living with in-laws, you have to bring them on board, or at least inform them that this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. Install a baby monitor so that you can have a watch on your baby, because even if they're sleeping through the night, sometimes they wake up in between. And if you are out, you can immediately come back home if something's come up, if they're unwell or something. It's always reassuring to have an eye on your baby, and it's also cute to see them sleeping. One more thing that's very helpful with sleep training is go on Reddit r/sleep train, because you read of a lot of different experience of a lot of different families trying a lot of different approaches. You learn a lot. There are people who have succeeded with sleep training. There are also people who have tried it and failed. There are people who will never try it. It's great to see all perspectives. So that's a great starting point for you if you want to explore sleep training. And also one more thing I want to add, it's not like a magic solution. Like, it's not like once you sleep train, they sleep through the night forever.
When they're teething, they'll wake up in between. When they have a sickness, they'll wake up in between. For example, Tara's had a cold for the past 2-3 days, so she's been waking up at night.
But I'm not feeling like, oh my god, she's gone, all her training is for a loss. No, because it's happened before. But you need just 1 or 2 more days of doing that training again, and then she gets back to that routine and it's fine. You also get frustrated sometimes, like when the child is cranky all day or night. 100%. Why are you crying? I also feel like crying. 100%. It's very natural. You keep telling yourself like, no, it's okay, it's gonna be okay, but it's a very natural human response to get frustrated. Just don't take your frustration out on your child, because they're not doing it on purpose. It's just they're little babies. It's all crazy up in their brain. If you feel yourself getting like super frustrated, just maybe place them in the crib and just go out of the room, take a deep breath for 5 minutes so that you can calm down, and then go in so that you are more regulated, so that you can handle them when they are being dysregulated. Any tips on how to make the baby sleep in crib? My baby's currently co-sleeping with us. We were also co-sleeping with Tara until 8 months of age. I think there's nothing wrong with co-sleeping. I know the Western world has a different view on it. You have to do safe co-sleeping, like no loose blankets. I know people have to cover their babies with blankets, but please don't do that. Fear of that blanket covering your baby's nose will make sure you don't sleep at all at night. So just sleep without any blankets, if possible, all 3 of you. And it's a very nice, like, I'm totally for co-sleeping. Just the thing is, my daughter's a very light sleeper. So if there's any movement on the bed, if we turn or we move or anything, she will wake up. Crib works very well for her. And we transitioned to the crib when we started sleep training itself. we would just put her in the crib and she got used to sleeping in the crib. Also now she wants to go to the crib and wants to play in it. They do say that sleep training is possible with co-sleeping and breastfeeding and all of that, but it's a lot harder. I did sleep training with her sleeping in the same room as us in the crib, and I was breastfeeding. From someone who used to co-sleep with your baby for 8 months, like, it is possible to transition to a crib. She sleeps only in her crib now. Unless she's sick or something, then I bring her again to our bed and sleep because I just feel better that way. So yeah, doable. How many sleepless nights did you spend? Too many. What all tricks and techniques have you tried to put the baby to sleep? Oh, I have lost count. I tried bouncing, jumping, singing, squats, lunges, telling boring stories. I have tried everything. Like, there was one point in my life I was so desperate. I remember thinking I will shave my head if it means I can get one night of undisturbed sleep. I was so desperate. Now, feeding. How has your breastfeeding journey been? Please share your learnings in the process. My breastfeeding journey has been really good actually. I was always breastfeeding on demand simply because I was at home and that was the most convenient way. If I had excess milk, I would use a pump. I have actually forgotten the name of the breast pump that I use, but it was really good. It's from an Indian brand and it's a wearable breast pump. It's very similar to those really expensive ones. What was that? See, mom brain, I can't remember anything. Best is if you can have it hands-free, if you can have it wearable, because that gives you freedom to move around while you're pumping, and you will be pumping a lot of the day. Get something that is easily rechargeable, easily cleaned, and easily transportable, and I think those are just my 3 top factors. If you have any breast pump recommendations, please put them in the description. I would not recommend one where you have to manually pump it with your hand, because I got a lot of work done when I was pumping. You just put the pump inside your bra and it's working by itself. It's barely noticeable, barely makes any sound, and I would be eating, or I would be completing work, or I would be doing like house chores. It gave me so much freedom that I was finally not stuck to the bed. I pumped quite a bit for the first 8 months, I would say. I use the pump almost every single day, so having a good pump is a very good investment. Breastfeeding otherwise was really great. I am still breastfeeding, by the way. My daughter is 16 months old now, and according to the pediatrician's recommendation, it is at least to the age of 2. So I will try to, if my body still produces the milk, I would love to breastfeed her till she's 2 years old. Right now I only feed her at night before sleeping and once when she wakes up. So the rest of the day she's eating solids. Some downsides to it is that going outside was a bit tricky because my daughter was not used to formula. She didn't like taking it from the bottle. I had to always carry a cover up with me. I always had to have nursing tops, so I either had to
feed her in the car, or feed her in the airport, or feed her in the airplane.
just the initial of getting used to like feeding her in public and making sure you're covered up properly and you feel very awkward. Otherwise, it's really helpful. It's really wonderful that you can just produce milk on the go. You don't have to worry about, measuring out formula, getting like hot boiled water, mixing it in the proportion. Like, people think formula is the easier way out. It is not. It is so much more work.
You have to wash those bottles, dry it, make sure that they're completely okay. Like,
Formula is a lot of work. First time you fed your baby outside home, how to be prepared. With regard to solids, I actually enlisted the help of this nutritionist called Sonal. Company is called Veera Care, and I enrolled for a 6-month program with her on starting solids. So helpful. She taught me a lot about infant nutrition and what is important, what needs to be added, what needs to be avoided. But also she taught me about fundamental principles like how you can get your child to sit by herself and eat, feed by herself and eat. And that self-feeding, I feel like, contributes a lot to a child's development because they're able to feel different textures, feel different temperatures, see different colors and smells, and also they have that independence to pick it up and eat themselves. Yes, we want them to eat, and so we feel like a lot of times they're eating by themselves, they're not eating enough. But a phrase that I found very useful is food before 1 is for fun, which means that most of the nutrition is still coming from milk, breast milk formula, whatever, and 6 months to 1 year is when they are actively exploring food and textures, and after 1 year is when they're able to eat by themselves. And once you lay that foundation of them being able to understand food, and it's not just something they're shoved into their face and they're forced to eat, and it's an enjoyable experience. Eating together as a family now is so much more relaxing because I am not like holding her and forcing her to eat food, and food is falling all on me. Especially when we go out for dinner to restaurants, now she's sitting in the high chair, she's eating by herself. Yes, there are times she doesn't eat properly, so then I do have to feed her, which I don't mind at all. Like, I don't think that's inherently like, oh no, you can't feed the baby at all. No, I think you as a mother can trust your instincts. You know, when your child is bored, they need some help with their food. At times I've also had to go behind her, hold a book, show it to her while I'm feeding her. If 80% of the time your child is able to self-feed, sit by themselves, enjoy that independence that they have now recently discovered, I'd say that's a win. I'll put Sonal and Veera Care's information in the description, along with, I think you get a 10% off. Also, I have a code. Everything I'll mention in the description, you can check it out from there. Have you introduced cow's milk to Tara? Please let me know if you have or have not, and why. So generally the pediatric recommendation, and also what Sonal told me, is introduce cow's milk after the age of 1. I have introduced her to it, like I've made her try it a little bit, but she didn't like it too much. And also because I'm still breastfeeding, I don't see the need to swap cow's milk instead of breast milk. The whole point is, if you're not breastfeeding and you want to give some sort of calcium to your child, then you would give cow's milk. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving cow's milk. That's completely okay. It's just that in my case, I have not needed to yet. But she does have curds every day. She loves curds. Very important question. How much is spent on blueberries? Like, their cost? Too much. I'm kind of glad that blueberries are off season now and you don't get them anymore, but they are a great source of vitamin C and antioxidants. I remember when I put that reel about expenses I didn't expect with the baby, and I mentioned one of them was blueberries, and everybody came attacking me in the comments.
Why do you want to give them foreign fruits like blueberries? We could give them amla and jamun.
First of all, amla and jamun, yes, they have a lot of vitamin C, but they're also sour. Like, adults themselves cannot tolerate the sourness. Parenting is such that you try multiple things, and if there's something your child likes, you will get so much of it because you just want your child to eat. Next, we come to education, screen time and books. Giving screen time. Second question is, do you use any kind of screens or electronic media to distract the kid? And what kind of cartoons, if any, do you show Tara, since most cartoons melt brains these days? So screen time, I've really tried to limit it. Again, I'm going by what doctors say. So they say no screen time until the age of 2, and after that you have to have it in very limited time slots within the day and have it monitored as well. Earlier I used to be a very like a panicky hard and fast rule. Like, if there was a TV playing in the background, I'd pick up Tara and be like, no screen for you. I used to be that kind of mom, okay, until I like discussed all of that in therapy and realized that, you know, I have to learn to manage with the environment that I have. So now I'm not giving those knee-jerk reactions anymore. We don't give her any screen time in the day. Like, there's no time for her to watch cartoons or anything. If we do play Cocomelon for her, it's only the audio version. Like on Apple Music or Spotify, you can just play Cocomelon or on your speaker, and she loves all the songs. Like, songs are a great way to teach kids words, actions, like wheels on the bus go round and round, beep beep beep. So she does all of those sounds now because she's listened to those songs so much, or she likes dancing, and it's just a nice way for you to connect also with your child. I think music is a great way. Either you sing the songs yourself or you just play the audio. I know a lot of parents say, oh, but how will they see the actions? You watch the video, you learn the action, then you do like action song for your kids. Like, you don't need a screen for it. I often think to our parents' time when they didn't have TVs at home, like how did they entertain kids? How did we entertain ourselves? So we don't, a screen is not necessary, but it's not entirely like, I will not show my kid any screen till the age of 10. Like, I don't think that's practical. I think with everything, you need to take a very balanced approach and a limited approach, and you know that you have to, even if you're showing screens, you have to be very supervised and very limited time, because kids have no regulation control. But in extreme cases, yes, I do give her a screen. I remember this was we were on a road trip, and she generally doesn't like car rides. She
was crying. Feeding didn't work, soothing didn't work, songs didn't work.
So finally, you know, we just needed her to take a breath. She was quite distressed. So then we showed her the screen, and then she was just like looking at it, and then her breathing kind of, you know, regularized a bit. I know that in that moment I was like, oh no, what am I doing to my daughter? But I also know that it's just like 3 minutes in 24 hours in a month. 3 minutes in a month that I'm showing her the screen, and it's fine. It's okay once in a while. It's okay. It's completely okay. So you just, as parents, I know we want the best for our child. We just sometimes need to give ourselves a bit of grace and a bit of leeway. And I know people will, especially if you're traveling and you give your phone to your child so that they're not screaming and disturbing other people, people will judge at you and look at you like, oh my god, who's that parent giving screens? It's okay. They don't know you, they don't know your family, they don't know your situation. In rare cases, screen time is absolutely okay, but not for a regular basis when they are under the age of 2. And I think there are far better alternatives, which I will share, which are better for kids to keep them occupied. Which age to introduce picture books, what books to start off with. I will link all the books that I use for Tara by age in the description. You can start with books from as soon as they're able to open their eyes. Those black and white books are really good because at that age kids can't really see color, so high contrast books are really good for them. Have tummy time and then keep the foldable books in front of them and they just keep staring at it, and it's really good. So black and white books work a lot. Those mini books which they can hold themselves and turn the pages are good. Any kind of board book is great, any lift the flap book is great. And I realized that with kids, no, you imagine that, oh, they will sit in your lap and you'll read the book and they'll be fascinated by the book and they'll just sit there. No, they just interact with the world around them. Now Tara loves books, and the one thing I realized, which has led to Tara really loving books, I've just kept a bookshelf on the floor which is at her height, which you can easily access, and just kept all her books there. And so for 1 month she didn't touch them, 2 months she didn't touch them. Now she pulls every book every single day and goes through every book. It's not that I am like, go read a book. It's just that it's around her. It's part of her daily life. And once she starts exploring and seeing for herself, like kids are so independent, like once they become toddlers, it's like, you don't tell me what to do types. No, they want to explore themselves. So it's been really helpful to have a kids bookshelf and just put all their favorite books in, and they just go explore and learn, especially books with animal sounds. She loves that moo ba la la la, that one hit, super hit. I'll link it in the description, don't worry. Does Tara speak yet? Yes, non-stop. And I think a lot of it has to do with my in-laws talking a lot to her, like everybody else talking to a lot of her, a lot of interaction with other people, listening to music. But this also ties in with the next question, which is one thing I'm worried about as a new mom is baby milestones. And this is a real valid fear to have. There's a reason why people give a range of kids will start talking, for example, between the ages of 12 months to 18 months, for example. I don't know what the exact range is. Take that as an example. The reason it's a range is because some kids might start talking earlier, some kids might start talking later. Girls tend to walk faster or earlier than boys, that's a fact. But so when you see a 12-month-old girl walking around and your 12-month-old boy is still not even crawling, don't panic, because that's normal. There's a reason, there's a range. Talk to your pediatrician and ask them that at what age, if it doesn't happen, should I be concerned. I know it's very natural, like we unconsciously compare our children, especially because we meet our kids a lot of the same age. So some
maybe talking while yours are not talking, some maybe singing while yours are not singing. Some kids know ABC already, I don't know how, and yours not singing it, and you're like,
is my kid falling behind? No, don't worry. Just ask your pediatrician according to their developmental milestones. Like you usually get a folder, right, from your pediatrician of this the child should be able to do. Just follow that. Don't worry about anything else. Your child is going to be fine. By the time they come to school, they will all sort of equalize, and once they come to school also they learn from each other, they'll be fine. Don't worry. How are you planning to teach safe touch to the kid? This I haven't started actively teaching safe touch, bad touch, because she's not at that age where she can understand it. But there are a lot of resources out there on how to teach good touch, bad touch, a lot of videos and books. Just Google, you'll find the top results. But one thing I'm very particular about is limiting physical touch and not forcing it. By that what I mean is, if it's people who she doesn't know too well, then I'll say, okay, give a high five. Instead of saying, okay, give them a kiss or give them a hug, I'll say, okay, give them a high five. So a high five is fine, it's safe, it's not too close to her body, there's not unwanted proximity. And if it's for family members, I say, okay, umma dede, like umma in Malayalam is kiss. So she'll give them a kiss on the cheek. But if we say umma dede, and if she's not giving a kiss and she doesn't want to, we don't say, oh,
umma dena, she'll feel bad, de do, please, de do.
if she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to, that's fine, just leave it. So instead of that, okay fine, then give us a high five she's happy to give. Do you both have a weekly, monthly, daily schedule of this is what we should teach Tara? No. I wish, I mean, this would have been great. I wish I had one and I'd be like, I'm such an organized mom. Next we come to baby products. Which stroller, breast pump and feeding pillow did you use? And please suggest any other important baby stuff. The stroller I use is the Chico Bravo Primo travel trio. This I bought in Singapore, I don't think it's available in India, but for a stroller I would say get something that's foldable if you travel a lot. and something that fits in the cabin, and something that's sturdy and good quality, because you will be using it for at least 3 to 4 years and it has to be safe. Other important baby stuff, I would say a sterilizer if you're pumping or using formula saves so much time to clean and dry things. I really like the Philip Avent one. Fantastic stuff. Breast pump was very important to me. Getting a high chair is useful. Getting a baby bathtub is useful. You don't need too much stuff when you just have a baby. So I would say don't buy a lot of stuff and keep, because a lot of the times you may not even need it. You can just, everything is one day delivery these days, right? You can just get it as per the need. Like for example, we bought a bassinet before Tara was born and she didn't sleep in it even one day, and it was very, very expensive. Next, my favorite, fitness. How to manage baby and hit weight loss gain, finding it difficult for a working mom. I completely understand. It is really hard managing it. For me, I was able to start on my weight loss journey only after Tara turned 1. Till then, I just took it easy. I made an entire video detailing my diet and exercise. I will link it here if you want to watch it. Here, you need the help of other people to step in. Hand the baby to your partner and be like, I need to go for a walk for half an hour. I'll be back then. It could even be like getting external help if you can afford it, to get either a cook to help with your food so that you can have healthy food on the go and at hand, so it's not too much stress for you. Otherwise, I know it's very, very difficult, and when you come home from work you're exhausted, plus you have baby, and the last thing on your mind is like working out and like dieting. It's really, really hard. I know a lot of people, including me, who are able to do it because we have help. Don't beat yourself up about it. Start really slow. If you want to start, fine. Start with like no sugar in your tea and coffee. Just start with that, and then you can build up to a little more, doing only maybe a healthy breakfast, and then slowly including that to making all your meals healthy. Then you can get on to your walks of fitness based on if you have time, and only if you have time. Okay, don't simply stretch yourself thin. Take care of yourself first and do it slowly and steadily, but start. How are you losing weight and avoiding cravings? With a lot of self-control. Just now also I was thinking about the chocolate dessert in the fridge, but I was like, I cannot eat it. I'll wait until the weekend to have my sugar. Having one outlet, like having one day when you can eat something you've been craving, has been helpful, and that helps me delay my cravings for a while. How do you feel confident with body changes post-pregnancy and dealing with sleep deprivation? Oh my god, these two are so hard. Confident with body changes, it took me a very, very long time to feel confident. Like now when I look back at my pictures and stuff, I'm like, I was looking nice only, but at that time when I would wear it, I'd be like, oh my god, I'm looking so fat, I'm looking so big, nothing's fitting, everything's bulging. To wear such dark colors to hide any bulges, and never like shopping, and I didn't like experimenting. If I found one silhouette, I would stick with that only because I knew it looked good on my body shape at that time. One thing that helped was to follow a lot of mid-sized or plus-sized women on Instagram who are also stylists and fashion creators, because they show you how to style clothes on different bodies, and they are so confident, it looks so good on them that it gives you a lot of confidence. I'll put a couple of profiles that I follow that I'm like, wow, it looks good on her, so it can look good on me. And you know, looking good also makes you feel good. How do you find time for yourself? Isn't it too overwhelming? It was at first. The first year was really, really hard. I'm really blessed. I have really, really understanding in-laws and really loving in-laws, that when I used to wake up in the morning, they used to be like, we'll take care of Tara, you go sleep, you catch up on your sleep. And so then I could sleep from like 7 to 9, and those 2 hours of uninterrupted sleep where I could sleep peacefully, not feeling scared about, is Tara okay, is she okay? Bliss. There I found time for myself. And it's a very tricky situation, you know, because on one hand you do want time for yourself, but when you do get it, you feel guilty, like, why I should be with my baby, why am I taking time for myself? I remember I'd gone to get a hair wash and get my nails done, and I was sitting there feeling so relaxed and like, oh my god, I feel like myself, I feel so good. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, I'm away from Tara, is it right? Like, that I'm out here enjoying myself while she's back home, I should be with her. It's that weird, it's a weird feeling. There's a saying, right, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You are a more present mother, you can be a more loving mother and attentive mother when you yourself have that rest, time for yourself. When you are replenished, then you can replenish your child, right? And then you can be like the fun mom running after your child. But if you are sleep deprived, if you are depressed, if you are so exhausted, it's really, really hard to be fully there for your child. And then you end up feeling more guilty that, oh my god, I didn't spend enough time with her, or maybe I was snapped at her. Like, it's such a weird cycle that moms are stuck in, and it's really hard. And it sometimes you need to talk to your partner and be like, hey, I am going crazy. I need some time. Let's figure this out. Speaking of partner, let's talk about relationships. Yay! Samina asks, how has the relationship between you and Akash changed after having a baby, or is the same? I don't think anyone's relationship remains the same. Of course, it changes, and the beginning months are very, very challenging because you're sleep deprived. You're also trying to figure out your own relationship as partners, because now the new priority is the child, right? And obviously it is, especially if you're breastfeeding and you're waking up in the night and you feel like you're taking on a lot of the work and your husband is sleeping and you feel so irritated. And I would be the one to tell him like, go back to sleep, it's fine, because I knew that the only way that she would go back to sleep is by feeding. And in that, though he can't help me, the only times he could actually help was to change the diaper, and there were times where she stopped pooping in the night, so there's nothing he could actually do. And he was also going to office, so I would be the one saying, don't wake up, don't worry, you sleep, I'll take care of her. But also at the same time I would get so irritated. How are you like going to office and enjoying this life and like going and living your normal life? Well, my world feels like completely changed. It is very important to talk through these things while you're going through it with your partner, and it's very natural for you guys to fight, misunderstandings and all of that, and that's part of life, that's part of a marriage. And the best part about having a fight and a misunderstanding is you finally talk things through. And I feel like our relationship has gotten so much stronger after we've had a child, because we've had conversations about things that probably we wouldn't have earlier. Now we are more quick to raise things and then get it over with than letting things like pile up. I think you also end up appreciating your partner so much. Like when you see them as a father or a mother, you see them in a different light. You see the sacrifices they make, the effort they put in, and your love just grows. Like when I see Akash and Tara like playing together and joking around together, like my heart just explodes. Like, oh my god, this is all I've ever wanted types. Did you have any issues with parents or in-laws when it came to how to bring up the child? In some ways, because definitely you do have a generational gap. Like for example, my mother was against the idea of sleep training. She's like,
when they used to cry, I used to pick them up. And what is this sleep training this generation?
I mean, it is a huge change for them, right? You do understand that. And you do have different points of views. And again, like the best way to tackle this is you calmly explain, like, this is the reason why I'm doing it. This is why I want to do it. And they can, of course, express their views. And ultimately, they also know that you are the parent and you will take the final decision. But you also have to respect them and bring them along with you, no? They have raised you and they have raised maybe other kids also. So they do feel like they have far more experience, and it is beneficial to listen to the experience of elders. It may work in your favor, you may agree with it, you may not. Like for example, like this comment asks about feeding honey, giving some processed food with sugar, etc. Feeding honey is a non-negotiable. Like this is something you cannot negotiate on. Bring in your doctor in this, because feeding honey before the age of 1 can cause botulism. Just say no, doctor has said no feeding honey to the baby before the age of 1. In my particular case, both my in-laws are doctors, so they're very practical, science oriented people, so they have never pushed any of these kind of things on me. But I know for a lot of cases that that's not the case, and they say हमारे time में हमने दिए हैं, कुछ नहीं हुआ है, ഞങ്ങളെല്ലാം ചെയ്തു, ഇതെല്ലാം എന്താണ്. You know, like every generation has that, but you just put it on your doctor and say doctor said don't do it, that's it. Even like giving processed food with sugar, either say no sugar whatsoever and be very strict about it, or you can say I will allow some sugar, but it can be limited to only 1 biscuit a day, and give that boundary. Like, you know, you say you have to give boundaries to kids, you have to give boundaries to your parents also. How did you start date night every Saturday, and how are you managing it with Tara? Oh, this date night every Saturday we started after sleep training, living with in-laws. Sleep training because you feel confident that your child is rested and that she's fine, she's safe. And living with in-laws because you just know that someone you love and trust is in the house with the child. In case they wake up in between, there is someone to soothe and comfort them in the time that you need to come back. Those who don't live with your in-laws, some of you have live-in help, and that's possible. Or maybe you can have in-home date nights, like after the child goes to sleep, you are in your living room with the TV, do a movie night, or just have one where you all order food but have like a candlelight dinner or something. Basically, the idea is to have one-on-one intentional time with each other, and make sure you dress up, because I think that's the fun. Like on date nights, I feel like back when we were dating. I get that feeling again because we're dressing up, we're going out to eat somewhere, you both look good, you both like that you look good, you like to see the other's expression when you come out all dressed up. Like, that's also very important. Having a healthy marriage and a relationship really, really helps with parenting because you, even though the week has been rough, it's been crazy, to have that time to reconnect with each other. Maybe you could talk about things that have been weighing on your heart for a while, or it can be just be light-hearted chatting. It just is so, I feel so good after that, and I feel so connected to my partner after that, and it's been really, really good. I really, really cherish those Saturday night date nights with my husband. When you reveal Tara's face, I know I've spoken about not posting Tara, and a lot of people don't understand why, and a lot of you do, and I appreciate that. I don't think inherently it's bad to post your child on social media, especially if you have a private page. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I have a public page, and I thought about this a lot, and I feel like, you know, I can post her once, but she's such a big part of my life that I would feel that once I've posted, no, once I've crossed that boundary that I've set for myself, then I'll feel like posting her more. All parents, we all feel like our kids do so many cute things, so many adorable things, so many funny things, and we want to share it. That's an inherent need all of us have. And I feel like once I start and I see all your nice comments and I feel so good about that you guys have so much love for my daughter, I'll feel like posting more. And I am scared that I won't be able to draw that line, and I will be kind of blind to the fact of how much is too much, you know? Do I really want that for my daughter? And I know in my heart of hearts, forget heart of hearts, right up top of my mind, I know that's not what I want for her. I don't want her to grow up in front of a screen. I don't want her to grow up with the gaze of 4 lakh, 8 lakh people commenting about her. I don't want people to develop a relationship with her without her even being aware of it. A lot of these things. And more importantly, I don't want some sick person out there on the internet to take her photos. And I mean, you've seen what's happened, especially now with AI. Like, they can do anything with images of kids. So it's a really scary world out there, and if this is under my control that she cannot be on the internet, then she won't be. End of story. I don't know if my stance on this will change in the future. I don't know, maybe I would feel like, okay, this is okay. At this age, maybe it's okay to post her photo or post a little bit about her. I don't know yet. But right now my stance is no whatsoever. And finally, everybody's favorite topic, working mom guilt. Do you have a nanny? How has your experience been with childcare help? I do have a nanny. I would not have been able to manage life without her. She's not live-in, she's someone who comes from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. After like 8 months of being with her, only I felt comfortable that okay, I trust her alone with Tara. Before her, I tested out a couple of people. I would always say go with your gut instinct. There were some people who I just got a bad vibe from, and I was like, no, but her, something clicked, and she's been really, really good. So I know I've gotten lucky that way. I know a lot of people have issues with nannies who suddenly quit and leave, and that really affects your work. How do you work with a nanny? So because I work out of home, if I'm in this room, they are in the next room itself. So I can step out anytime and watch. I usually leave the door open so I can hear what's happening, others unless I'm filming and then the door is closed. This question by Gautami Roy, the third point, is so true. Do you ever feel like spending the entire day with your child even though when you know you have work? How do you manage your day? Sometimes it's like I can't wait to work, and when I'm working, I feel like I can't wait to spend time with her. What helps is having a really strict schedule. Now I know that if I have only 2 hours to work, I work really diligently and I work really, really, really quickly because I know that the time is precious and I need to go back to my daughter. And because I know I'm giving that time to work and I'm also allotting time to my daughter, that guilt is not as much as opposed to if I was spending like 3 hours of not working properly but also not spending time properly, you know what I mean? Priya also asks, hi Priya, so sweet. What a nice message. How are you managing work, motherhood and yourself? Very good question. I have help. I have a nanny who comes. I have also taken a step back from work. For example, if I was posting videos every single day, now I do it every alternate day or every 3 days because that's a schedule that works for me. YouTube videos I would love to do every week, but I just don't have the bandwidth, so I make one every like 10 days, every 15 days. Sorry about that guys, but this is the schedule that works for me right now. And in the beginning it used to feel really like, oh my god, I should be doing more, I'm falling behind, blah blah blah, but I was just getting burnt out. And I couldn't be a good mom at the same time. So this balance works for me. Aishwarya asks, I wanted to ask, how did having a baby impact your work life? Could you make time for shoots, taking care of baby, and having your own time to relax? Yeah, this was, it did affect me. You know, when I just moved back to India, Tara was about 3 or 4 months. And because I was back in India, suddenly I got a lot of work opportunities, really, really, really good ones. And a lot of them I had to say no to because I was still feeding her and I couldn't be away from her for more than 2 hours because I had to come back and feed her, right? And I used to feel so guilty about saying no to these people, and also afraid that, you know, I've said no so many times. Like, I've said no 2 times already. Third time, they're not gonna ask me at all. And I'm gonna miss out on these amazing opportunities. I just knew that this is my season of life where I'm a mother and my child is my first priority. And this is the only phase in her life where she's dependent on me completely. She's going to become independent, sure, and then I can take up more work opportunities. But this is the time that she needs me. So it's okay if I say no to this opportunity. It's okay if they don't take me later on. I'll just continue to work hard and maybe someone else will. One really good thing is, earlier, no, I would have gone for everything. But now I think I value my time a lot more. And so I really think, like, is this even beneficial? Like, am I going to learn something? Is it worthy of time? Is it worth the time I'm spending away from my daughter? And if it ticks all these boxes, then I go. One thing about this is that, you know, I work out of home. My timings are flexible. Like, if my baby falls ill or if my nanny falls ill or she cannot come, then I can be at home with my baby 24/7. Like, I remember in May, I think, for 1 week my nanny had not come because her husband was in the hospital. That whole week I didn't work. I didn't put out any videos. I did not do any YouTube. And I was little mildly panicking that, oh my god, algorithm is going to forget, I'm going to go drop, blah blah blah. But it just meant that when I came back, I just had to work twice as hard to get back on the algorithm. But yeah, having help has infinitely helped with my work, because I know that for this time to this time, I have time to work, and then I work very focusedly. And when she's not there, work just doesn't happen. That's just the way it is. And yeah, we have to deal with it, what to do. And I chose to have a baby, right? So I have to make things work. How do you deal with mommy guilt? I don't know if I deal with it very well. It's hard. I don't think you can ever get out of mommy guilt. Like, you'll always feel like you're not doing enough for your child, that you're not spending enough time with your child. Even if I've spent the entire day with her, I still feel like I have not spent enough time with her. I think the love that you have is just so much that no matter how much you give, there is still so much more love to give. This was quite heavy, all of these questions. These questions, I think, brought a lot of emotions that I was not expecting. But thank you so much. This has been really helpful for me, at least. I hope it was helpful for you. And if you have any other questions, please put them in the comments. And I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. And if you are a mother, all my love to you. I know how hard it is. You're doing amazing. Trust me. If you are planning to become a mother, I hope this video helped. If you have zero plans about being a mother but you watched till here, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. And I hope this helped you gain some perspective. Alright, bye!